Could we see a deal tomorrow?
Well, we're working on it. You know, there's a process that the legislature goes through. You know, a lot of people were not optimistic that we were going to have an on-time budget. We worked through the process, the legislature part of it, the governor, and we got an early budget. And I'm very optimistic, and we are having discussions at the staff level. I spoke to the governor personally before the summit on Stony Brook. We discussed, you know, moving in a positive direction, and I'm optimistic that we are going to get closure on ethics reform, more disclosure, and also on the cap and rent.
He again, though, started beating or reiterating that he will do a Moreland Commission if you guys don't reach a deal. And if you're close, why would there be a need for him to threaten?
You know, I don't know whether he's threatening or he's just stating a fact. He has said that throughout, you know, the campaign when he was in campaign mode. He continued to say it, and that's his right. But again, my position is, you know, the governor kept talking about if there's no agreement on the budget, he was going to impose a budget, essentially. We had an agreement. This is his right to say it. I don't believe we're going to come to a Moreland Act and that we're going to get a ethics reform before this legislative session is over.
Do you think there'll be an announcement tomorrow? I know you conferenced at the Assembly's conferencing.
Well, you know, we're discussing, different parts of it, and you know, I think there's an opportunity to get it done tomorrow, but we're going to get it done before this session is over.
What do you think about the speaker? He spoke, he said after the meeting today that he seemed to be leaning towards doing a SUNY tuition increase if all that money would be guaranteed to go to SUNY as opposed to general.
Well, I think that's what I pointed out, but not only it should go to SUNY, but there has to be a maintenance of effort on the state's part. I think that's very, very important, that if we get this done and there's a tuition increase, that the state can then start pulling back on what we give to the SUNY system. There shouldn't be any more sweeps, and there's got to be a maintenance of effort. So I think we're moving positively in both SUNY, Stony Brook, and UB 2020, and with the other campuses concerning rational tuition.
Senator, what's the status of reconciling the property tax cap with the rent control sunset?
There really haven't been many discussions yet on rent control. Obviously, my position is that there should be a straight extender. I don't agree with a sunset on the cap, but this is all open to negotiation. Again, this is, you know, all of you have been around a long time, and you know the way the process works, whether for better or for worse. A lot of things are not agreed upon until near the end of session, just like there were a lot of issues that were closed concerning the budget in the last couple of days.
You don't agree with that sunset period or sunset?
No. I'm not going to get into, you never say never in this business, I've learned that, but I think it's wrong. I think you need the certainty of a cap, you know, forever. You know, businesses want to see certainty. One of the problems that the state has is when businesses make determinations as to whether to locate here or stay here, there's no certainty in the tax structure in New York State, the regulations in New York State, and we lose them. And businesses want to know, what is my situation going to be with property taxes? And people have the right to know that.
Yeah,
Senator,
you do one, and then we got to go.
We got to go after this. Appointees to an ethics panel, would that have to be evenly split between the governor and the legislative leaders? And if it's not, is that sort of a deal breaker?
It has to be fairly done. You know, no
So that
side, whether it's Republican, Democrat, legislative, whatever, should have the ability to go, gotcha. This has to be done in a fairly respectful way and a rational way.
And do you think you have agreement on that, to split
I think we're getting close to agreement on a lot of issues, including the ethics, cap, rent. It's all going to happen.
Thank you.
Thank you.